All right, good afternoon. Thank you guys for logging on. We have our afternoon criminal docket. I am going to ask for quick announcements before I take on any pleas, and I will start with Mr. Aguirre.
Your Honor, I have number 18 through 23 on the court's docket.
All right, that's State of Texas versus Martin Lopez. Is Martin Lopez part of the jail case?
He is.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Your announcement, Mr. Aguirre?
Your Honor, the last time we were here, you had lowered the bonds to 1,000. I spoke to his mother. She tried getting the money together, and actually the bail bond company told her she had to pay $2,000 on about $600 worth of bonds, or however many it is. I wanted to see if the court would consider releasing him on PR bonds with AIP.
Okay, currently, he has $1,000 bonds.
And the mother had spoken to two companies, and they both want to charge her like $2,000 still, even though it's a lot more than what it is, or a lot more than the percentage would be.
Okay, so you're asking for the court to consider a PR bond on all cases?
Yes, Your Honor, with AIP. I believe the DWI already has a PR bond in place.
Right. Mr. Heller.
Judge, we're going to be opposed to any further bond reductions, but if the court is inclined to grant the request, then we would ask for AIP. Condition.
He's been in custody for 43 days, right?
I believe so, yes, Your Honor.
Court will go ahead and grant the request for a PR bond, $1,000 PR bond on each one. So I'm just going to turn it from a cash or surety to a PR bond with AIP.
Thank you, sir.
And
Okay,
Your Honor,
Mr. Lopez, so I'm doing you this one, all right? And guess
Sure.
what I need from you in return? What I need from you in return is I need you to absolutely 100% stay in contact with your attorney and make sure that you log on to every hearing that we have from here on out. You understand that?
Yes, sir. No problem.
I was gonna say, is that too much to ask?
No, sir.
All right.
Your
That's
Thank
what
you,
I'm
sir.
asking for.
Your
So,
Honor, if we could quickly just admonish them about AIP. I've noticed some of these guys they get out, they don't really know what that is.
exactly. So, AIP is the alternative to incarceration program, meaning you will be under house arrest. You're not going to be free to go anywhere outside of your home unless it's for work. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
The next couple of days, it's too cold to be outside anyway. So you're going to be nice and warm in your home.
Thank you, sir.
But if you don't have internet at home, then you're going to need to figure out, and that's where Mr. Aguirre comes in, with how you're going to log on to your next court date. Okay?
That's no problem, sir.
Awesome. Okay, that's what I want to hear.
Thank you.
All right, now I'm going to give you a reset date, and the reset dates that I'm going to be giving you are going to be, what do you think, Mr. Aguirre?
Your Honor, I'm already in court, I believe, on March. Let me see, the ones that we had this morning.
March 10th, I think?
I
22nd?
thought you said the 29th, Your Honor.
Okay, is that the date you want?
Yes, if we could, Your Honor.
All right, March 29th
Yep.
at 9:30. March 29th, Mr. Lopez.
Yes, sir. No problem.
That's a really important day. You better not miss it, okay?
No, sir.
All right, AIP will be in contact with you before you are released. Is that correct, Victoria?
Yes, sir.
That's correct, Judge.
All right, so before you're released, someone from AIP is going to reach out to you. They're going to ask you some information about your home and things of that sort. You're going to be under home confinement unless you're going to work. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, and what day are we going to meet again?
February 29th, March 29th,
March 29th at what time?
9:30.
Perfect. Excellent. All right, we'll see you then.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Mr. Aguirre, what else do you have?
Your Honor, I have number 28 and 29, Ramon Miriles Rodriguez.
CR 20-04-280H, CR 21-13-825H, State of Texas versus Ramon Rodriguez Jr.
Yes, Your Honor. One of these is a motion to adjudicate. The other is a regular case. The last time we were here, I was trying to get some paperwork so I can go visit him and try to resolve this because he's been in jail, I believe, 40-something days. He's been in since like December 4th.
Yeah, I'm trying to motion to revoke. He's got 180, and on the evading arrest, he's got 61.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sure it was an oversight. I'm hoping to get the paperwork. If not, Judge, there's another one. I think he's got more than enough time in jail.
Judge, if you can reset this one for Tuesday, I'll be sending Mr. Aguirre the paperwork this afternoon. We're going to be time serving him on the evading arrest.
Oh, Your Honor, if they're going to time serve him, then I mean, we could release him. There's no point holding him longer.
As long as I get assurances that he's going to show up and not going to go on the lam on me.
And that's the issue, Judge. So if we can just give it a quick turnaround to Tuesday, or if Mr. Aguirre can get over there tomorrow, today, we can plead on tomorrow's.
I have DWI court in the morning.
Arraignment, DW arraignments.
Right.
I have to get my children. I'm watching my kids tonight. I can't
All right, Mr. Rodriguez. Mr.
get there
Rodriguez,
as quick as I can.
what kind let me ask you this: what kind of priors does he have?
He's got priors, Judge.
All right. So then we'll wait till Tuesday. Tuesday is the 8th. I'm going to be in a good mood. It's my birthday. 2/8.
2/8. And Mr. Heller said you were turning 55, Judge. Is that correct?
I'm turning something like that. I feel that old.
That's not old, Judge. That's not old. Okay, so Tuesday.
at 2.
And I'll keep an eye out for the paperwork, Judge.
All right, perfect.
And last one I have, Judge, is number 11 and 12, Jose Adrian Garcia.
All right, 11 and 12, CR 21-13-992H and CR 21-13-991H, Jose Adrian Garcia.
Yes, Your Honor. We had a plea agreement. It was ready to go. I got it signed up, and then a new theft charge got filed, I believe, on the 1st.
Is this another one that maybe we reset for Tuesday and you see what can get done, or do you need a little bit more time than that?
I'm probably going to need some more time, Your Honor. This gentleman has some immigration issues.
Okay, I can give you maybe the 17th, 15th,
That-
or the 17th? The 15th? How about the 15th?
The 15th will work, Judge.
All right, February 15th. That's the Tuesday.
And Your Honor, I guess so Tuesday, can we set the new charge on the new case on that? It's CR 22-00998H as in hotel.
Can you give me that one more time so that Jackie can include it real quick?
Yes, Your Honor. It's CR 22-00998H.
All right, done. We'll include it for the same day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
And I think that's all I have for this honorable court. You'll be
All
excused.
right. You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all have a lovely day.
Likewise. Mr. Reyes, Sammy, what do you got?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Judge, I have number 40 and 41 on the court's criminal docket. Jesus Rivera. I see
40
that
and 41, CR 21-02-462H and CR 21-05-400H. Jesus Santiago Rivera. Is Mr. Rivera present?
I see that he's logged in there, Judge. I think his camera's off.
Okay, I see him there. All right. I have a note here that says ask Victoria. Victoria, what do we have?
On Rivera, Judge?
Yes. Number
Oh,
41?
yes. I'm sorry. Yes, let me pull up the email that I received on AIP.
He's on AIP?
Yes. He was on a writ, is what I was informed. Let me see. He was considered a failure to report, and he has not reported to AIP since December 6th. So AIP is requesting removal at this time, Judge.
Okay. And we put him on AIP when, Victoria, if you know?
It says March 23rd, 2021, and it was on a writ. But now it's been indicted.
A felony?
No, it shows your number from our court, CR 21-054-008.
So the complaint was filed.
He's on probation on a felony as well, Judge. He was placed on probation out of the 430th.
And okay, and has he been reporting to probation?
Failure to report since December 6th.
Your Honor.
Let me put you in a breakout room, Mr. Rivera, with your attorney, Mr. Reyes, because I don't want you to say anything that might hurt you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Let me put you in a breakout room with Mr. Reyes, then you can come back. So Jesus Rivera. Sammy Reyes. All right, accept the invitation. Y'all come back when you're done.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Mr. Garza, you're on mute, but what case do you got?
Good afternoon, Judge. On here, number 27, Rafael Ramirez.
CR 21-13-457H. State of Texas versus Rafael Ezequiel Ramirez.
Judge, we have a pending felony. It's a motion to revoke in the 398th. We're scheduled for a staffing on the 14th of February. Hopefully, if they grant us what we're asking for, we should be pleading shortly thereafter. I noticed you gave a hearing date of the 29th of March. Could we have that?
As a jail case?
Yes, it is.
Are you okay with going that long? I mean,
Well,
I have every Tuesday and Thursday. I'll follow your lead if you.
about a week after the 14th then.
Of February, right? February
Yes,
14th.
sir. Yes, sir. Well, actually, I'm going to be out that last week of February. Could we have the first week of March?
Sure, I can give you March 1st or 2nd or 3rd.
That's either one.
Judge, just clarify, this is for Rafael Ezequiel Ramirez.
Yes.
We were going to ask for a reset to Tuesday so we can send Mr. Garza some paperwork. We were going to time serve the case.
Excellent. Send it.
Perfect. So Tuesday, the 8th, and we'll time serve him.
Very good.
February 8th, 2 o'clock, Mr. Garza.
Oh, cool.
Mr. Ramirez, we'll see you on Tuesday.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Anything else?
That's all I have. May I be excused?
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Um,
Mr. Heller.
Mr. Capello.
Yes, Your Honor. Robert Capello Jr. for number 33 of the court's criminal docket this afternoon, Judge Maldonado.
Okay. CR 21-11-893H. Carlos Tienda.
Yes, sir. He's a jail case judge, non-English speaker. This case before Your Honor was dismissed as part of his felony plea yesterday in the 332nd on CR 29-7321F.
That is correct, Judge.
All right. So dismissed as part of a felony plea.
Yes, sir. That is CR 29-7321F, Judge. He pled yesterday.
We just need to get a dismissal, right? We just need to get a dismissal from the state. We should be good to go, Mr. Capello.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for logging on.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Stay safe and thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now that brings us to Ms. Evans. Ms. Evans, I suspect that you have a plea.
Standing in for Richard Gonzalez, Judge. He does have a plea.
All right. Richard Gonzalez for Jorge Ignacio Aguilar Lopez.
Yes.
All right. And is it a plea on both cases, Mr. Heller?
Judge, it is, one of them will be dismissed. We'll be dismissing the motion to revoke with a plea.
And the motion to revoke is the assault?
No, the DW, it's a DWI.
Okay, so you're dismissing the motion to revoke and extending, or just dismissing? And
I think it's dismissing and adding outpatient. I don't know about extending, but
Right, he does still have probation time left. So we're gonna be dismissing the MTR and the assault will be time served.
Perfect. Okay, so then I will only admonish him on the assault. All right, Mr. Lopez, hang tight, stand right there. Don't go anywhere. He's Spanish speaking, correct?
that is correct, Judge. He is Spanish.
He's Spanish speaking.
Okay, perfect. All right. Mr. Garza, can you hear me? JR Garza, what case does JR Garza have?
Judge, Mr. Garza has CR 210573-1H. He just emailed me the paperwork just now, so I'm trying to get it e-filed as we speak.
Mr. Garza,
Can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. Marvin Mendoza,
Judge, we emailed that yesterday, Judge. He's present with me.
all
I
right?
just got it right now.
For some reason, yeah, for some reason it didn't go through. He just checked it right now. She just checked it right now and the sent, and it wasn't in, Judge. We apologize for that.
But we did receive it now, correct? Yuri?
That's correct, Judge.
I'm in the process of e-filing it, Judge.
Okay, let's take care of it, Mr. Garza. If that's a plea that you want to take care of, we can take care of it. We'll get the
That's good.
paperwork here shortly, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect, okay. Non-jail.
Yeah. Sorry, Judge.
All right. Ms. Ramirez, have you spoken to Ms. Savannah Gonzalez?
Today, no.
No?
I just got.
Sorry, say that. Can you repeat that one more time?
I barely got the meeting ID for the Zoom.
Okay. Do we have any paperwork for her? It shows as a plea for Ms. Ramirez. If we don't have any paperwork, I can reset her so that she's not waiting.
I don't have it. I don't know if Jose has it, Judge.
No. Okay. Mr. Ramirez, my understanding and speaking with Mr. Heller, who's via Zoom, and Mr. Garcia, who is here in person, they have not received any paperwork. There is an agreement in principle, but we do need to have you visit with Ms. Gonzalez. I don't want you to wait any longer because this plea could probably take 15, 20 minutes. So I'm just going to go ahead and reset your case for 2 weeks and give you and Ms. Gonzalez an opportunity to confer and visit, okay? Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay.
So 2 weeks from today?
Yes, ma'am. 2 weeks from today.
It's breaking in and out.
Yes, ma'am. 2 weeks from today puts us on February 15th. Can you hear me?
February 15th, same time?
Same time. February
Yes, I can.
15th. February 15th at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
All right. Stay in contact with Ms. Gonzalez, please.
Okay, that works. All right. Thank you.
Your excuse. Thank you.
Am I just, okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. Have a good day.
You too. All right, I just want to confer, give me 1 second. Let me go in and speak with Sammy Reyes, who's in the breakout room. I'm going to join him in the breakout room. So I'm going to leave this room real quick just to see if that's going to be a plea. It's written down as a plea here, but I'm not sure. I just want to confer. I don't want to take up a plea and then him join me in a little bit and say we're ready for a plea. Give me 1 second.
Important that I should know that school doesn't teach me. I got one for you. Debt isn't taxed.
Okay, let's start off with our pleas for those of you that are ready. We're going to start with Jorge Ignacio Aguilar Lopez, who's a Spanish jail case. Then we're going to move into Marvin Mendoza. And I believe those are our only two pleas. Is that correct? Marvin Mendoza and Jorge Lopez. There's Marvin Mendoza. Mr. Mendoza, can I have you test your microphone?
Judge, we have two meters. We have two devices in our, he's standing right next to me, Judge, so he's gonna use my device.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That'll work. Okay, let's get started. If I can have Mr. Lopez and Mr. Mendoza, please raise your right hand.
Señor López, lanzo mano derecha.
Do each of you sort of tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I'll start with Jorge Ignacio Aguilar Lopez.
Jorge Ignacio Aguilar López, juro que el testimonio que habrá esta tarde va a ser la verdad y solamente la verdad, señor.
Sí.
Yes,
How about you, Marvin Mendoza?
I do.
Thank you. You may both lower your hands. We're here in CR 2113-246H, State of Texas versus Jorge Ignacio Aguilar Lopez. Sir, is that your true and correct name?
Jorge Ignacio Aguilar López, ¿es su nombre correcto y verdadero?
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Lopez, you're here before the court, charged with the offense of assault causing bodily injury, a Class A misdemeanor. In just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor.
Señor López, usted se encuentra ante la corte porque es acusado de una ofensa de agresión, que es un delito menor clase A. Y en un momento le explico lo máximo de castigo que usted puede recibir por esta ofensa.
In CR 2105-731H, State of Texas versus Marvin Mendoza. Sir, is that your true and correct name?
Yes.
Mr. Mendoza, you're here before the court, charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated with a VAC greater than a .15. That is a Class A misdemeanor. I need to advise you, Mr. Mendoza, as well as you, Mr. Lopez, that Class A misdemeanors carry a potential penalty of up to 1 year in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. Do you both understand the range of punishment you could receive for a Class A misdemeanor? I'll start with Mr. Lopez.
Señor López, tengo que avisarle que usted, como es acusado de una ofensa de un delito menor clase A, lo máximo de castigo que usted puede recibir por esta ofensa es hasta 1 año de cárcel en el condado, una multa de $4,000 o las dos cosas que ha sido encontrado culpable. ¿Entiende lo máximo de castigo que puede recibir? Yes.
How about you, Mr. Mendoza?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Let me stop before moving any further and ask Mr. Richard Garza, who just logged on. Mr. Garza, you represent Ruben Jimenez Gonzalez Jr.
Yes, Your Honor.
Was that going to be something that we could take care of today, or were you going to be asking for some additional time?
No, Your Honor, that is set for a plea, and we've submitted everything. We're ready for the court whenever the court is ready.
All right, perfect. Then this is a perfect time to call him up.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ruben Jimenez Gonzalez Jr., please. Are we proceeding on all 3 cases or just one?
Your Honor, this is something that has been ongoing with the prosecutors. There's 2, and as far as I know, the other was going to be dismissed, Judge. That's where we're at. He is to plead a CR 2110-600 and CR 2110-601H, Judge.
All right, and the dismiss CR 2106-537?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, is that your understanding? Okay.
Judge, I'm glad the court called me Richard Garza because I do see JR. I see JR on there, Judge, and on the hallways, we were always getting confused. People were always telling me if I was JR. Haven't seen him in a while.
I'm so much better looking than him. I don't know how they confuse me.
That's true.
All right, so let me have Mr. Ruben Jimenez Gonzalez Jr. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir.
Is your true and correct name Ruben Jimenez Gonzalez Jr.?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gonzalez, you're here before the court charged with 2 separate offenses, both of them assaults, both of them Class A misdemeanors. I need to advise you that a Class A misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 1 year in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. Do you understand the range of punishment you could receive for both of your offenses, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All of you have the right to an attorney and the right to a trial by jury, but you can waive one or both of those rights by signing a written document with this court. At this time, I'm going to ask the 3 of you, did you have the opportunity to review a document with your attorney before you signed it? I'll start with Mr. Gonzalez.
Sir.
How about you, Mr. Lopez?
Señor López, entiende que usted tiene el derecho de presentar tu caso en tu jurado y tener un abogado presente con usted. Puede renunciar uno o los 2 derechos firmando ciertos documentos. ¿Tuvo la oportunidad de revisar los documentos con su abogado antes de que los firmaras?
Sí.
Yes.
How about you, Mr. Mendoza?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Did each of you understand that when you signed those documents, you were waiving your right to a trial by jury? Did you understand you were waiving your right to a trial by jury, Mr. Gonzalez?
Sir.
Is that a yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez.
Señor López, ¿entendió que cuando firmó sus documentos estaba renunciando a su derecho de presentar tu caso en tu jurado? ¿Sí entendiste?
Sí.
Yes.
How about you, Mr. Mendoza?
Yes, sir.
Court's going to go ahead and accept your waiver of trial by jury. Has any court ever declared any of you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane? Mr. Gonzalez?
No, sir.
Mr. Lopez?
Señor López, ¿alguna corte alguna vez lo ha declarado mentalmente incompetente o que diga que está loco?
No.
No.
How about you, Mr. Mendoza?
No, sir.
Counsel, speaking with your clients, do you find them to be mentally competent, able to assist? I'll start with Mr. Garza.
Your Honor, as to Mr. Gonzalez, I do, in my opinion, I do find him competent, Judge.
All right, to Mr. J.R. Garza. I'm sorry, Ms. Evans, Ms. Evans,
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Lopez is competent.
and Mr. J.R. Garza.
Marvin Mendoza's competent, Judge.
Court's going to go ahead and make a finding that all the defendants before the court, they're all mentally competent, they're all able to assist their attorneys in their own defense. Do you each understand that if the punishment that I assess, if that punishment does not exceed what is recommended by the state, you will need this court's permission if you decide to file an appeal? Do you understand that, Mr. Gonzalez?
Sir.
Mr. Lopez?
Señor López, ¿entiendes el castigo que le doy si no sobrepasa lo que estaba recomendando el fiscal? Si usted decide apelar este caso, necesitas permiso de esta corte. ¿Sí entiendes?
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Mendoza, same question.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Do you further understand that the court does not have to accept the recommendation of the state? Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lopez?
Señor López, entiende que la corte no tiene que aceptar la recomendación del fiscal. ¿Sí entiendes?
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Mendoza?
Yes, sir.
At this time, I must ask you, are you a US citizen, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lopez?
Señor López, ¿es ciudadano americano?
No.
No.
Because you're not a US citizen, Mr. Lopez, your plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization under US federal law. Do you understand those immigration consequences?
Señor López, entiende que como no es ciudadano americano, al declararse culpable o no lo contendré, pudiera resultar en su deportación, negar la entrada para atrás al país o le pudiera afectar la aplicación para ciudadanía, si entiende las consecuencias que pudiera pasar con la inmigración.
Sí.
Yes.
Knowing and understanding those immigration consequences, sir, do you still wish to go forward here today?
Entendiendo las consecuencias que pudiera pasar con la inmigración, ¿es su deseo proceder con su caso aquí hoy?
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Mendoza, are you a US citizen?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Mr. Gonzalez, to the offense of assault causing bodily injury in CR 21-10-600H, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And in CR 21-10-601H, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
On both of these cases, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, sir?
Yes, sir.
In CR 21-13-246H, State of Texas versus Jorge Ignacio Aguilar Lopez to the offense of assault causing bodily injury, a Class A misdemeanor, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Jorge Ignacio Aguilar López, a su ofensa de agresión, que es un delito menor clase A, ¿usted cómo se declara esta ofensa?
No.
¿Culpable o no culpable? Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
¿Se está declarando culpable voluntariamente?
Sí.
Yes.
In CR 21-05-731H, State of Texas versus Marvin Mendoza, to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class A misdemeanor, how do you plead, sir?
I'm guilty.
I'm sorry?
Guilty.
Thank you. Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Thank you. Court's going to go ahead and accept everyone's pleas of guilty as being freely and voluntarily given. I'll call for state's evidence at this time.
State offers plea documents and offers support to State's Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal is State's Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosures is State's Exhibit 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment is State's Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and that they further stipulate that all the evidence which has been e-filed is sufficient to corroborate today's plea of guilty.
All right, I'll start with Mr. Richard Garza,
Your Honor, we have no objections, and we so stipulate, Judge.
Tracy Evans,
Same announcement, Your Honor.
and J.R. Garza.
Yes, Judge.
No objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
There be no objection. State's exhibits are all hereby admitted. In CR 21-10-600H as well as CR 21-10-601H, State of Texas versus Ruben Jimenez Gonzalez Jr. It is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation on both of these cases?
Judge, for each case, the recommendation is the same, a $100 fine, court costs, 141 days in Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 141 days.
In both of these cases, it'll be a zero fine, zero court cost, 141 days, credit for 141 days time served.
And Judge, as part of the plea agreement, we will be dismissing CR 21-06-537H.
That'll be approved. Thank you so much. Mr. Garza, thank you for joining us. Mr. Gonzalez, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You're excused.
Y'all have a good day, Judge.
Likewise, in CR 21-13-246H, Jorge Ignacio Aguilar Lopez, it is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation?
He is, but wait.
Judge, for Jorge Ignacio Aguilar Lopez, the recommendation is a $100 fine, court costs, 54 days, Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 54.
All right, in this case, it'll be a zero fine, zero court cost, 54 days, credit for 54 days time served.
And as part of the agreement, we will be dismissing the motion to revoke on CR 20-09001H.
That'll be approved by the court. You want to let him know, Carlos?
Señor López, la Corte lo va a encontrar culpable de esta ofensa. El fiscal estaba recomendando $100 de multa, los costos de corte, 54 días de cárcel, crédito por 54 días. Lo que hace el juez, no le va a cobrar la multa ni costos de corte, va a ser un tiempo servido. En adición, la moción que tenía para revocar su libertad condicional se la van a retirar. Ya termina el caso. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your judge may be excused.
You're excused, Ms. Evans. Thank you.
Thank you.
In CR 21-05-731H, State of Texas versus Marvin Mendoza, it is a judgment of the court that you're guilty of charge. What is the recommendation?
Judge, the recommendation is a $200 fine, court costs, 365 days in Logan County Jail, probated for 1 year, alcohol education program, 6 months of mobile alcohol monitoring, 90 days Texas driver license suspension, and 25 community service hours.
25 CSR. And how many hours of the
6 months MAMD
6 months?
May I be heard, Your Honor?
and alcohol education program.
Yes.
Judge, Mr. Mendoza works approximately 44 hours per week, and he's also going to school for his real estate license. We ask that you waive the CSR on this case.
The court will go ahead and waive his CSR since he's gainfully employed. I'm going to run the Texas driver's license suspension. Those 6 months, I'm going to run it concurrent. So run CC with the administrative suspension.
Yes, Your Honor. The other thing, Your Honor, if I may be heard,
Yes, and I'll give him 90 days to pay the fine and court cost.
I'm not sure what Your Honor's doing on this part, but he is very busy. He's a widow. He has one child, so he works 44 hours. Then on top of that, he does have to go to school. On top of that, he has to care for his child. We're asking, Your Honor, on this case, because of that reason, that he be able to report by mail to the court, or at least part of it, Your Honor.
Let me ask you, is this okay, Victoria, you were going to say something. Let me hear from you before I continue.
Yes, Judge, I was just going to mention that he did have a bond modification and he had the ignition interlock device with no violations.
Okay, so then let me go ahead and Mr. Garza and Mr. Esquivel, I guess both of y'all are here. What I'm doing now, and I'm going to officially start it tomorrow, but I can make it retroactive. I'm going to make it retroactive for today. Is if there has been anybody who has been given a bond modification, meaning tomorrow you show up on arraignment day and I install a mobile device, and during the course of that bond modification, maybe you all resolve the case administratively, or ultimately it results in a plea like this one here today. If there's been no violations, okay, in an effort to assist these individuals who have had zero violations while under the bond modification, I'm going to waive the fine and court costs. This is the court's way of assisting them with some of the expenses that came about with respect to the device and the cost of the device. Now, if they've had a violation, if I've had to give them a sanction, and if I've had to give them an admonishment even, then that's off the table, right? This is really given to those individuals that have exemplified what we were asked of them, requested of them, which was no violations. And Victoria is telling me no violations for Mr. Marvin Mendoza. So to help him, I'll even go a step further and say zero fine and zero court cost will be assessed against him. Let me ask this question. Is this a case where first offense, it's just a high BAC and no other priors?
No, no, Judge, this is his second DWI.
Okay, so then I think that the amount of probation is reasonable. I think the alcohol monitoring is something that he has to do statutorily, but I was able to help him with the fines and court costs. Now, you're asking that he be reporting by mail, Mr. Garza?
That is correct, Judge, or at least part of it, Your Honor, because he does have a very, very tight schedule, and it's all for good reasons, Judge.
All right, Ms. Rodriguez, what can we do in a situation where you're asking for half of it? Like he reports the beginning half, and if there's no problems, then the second half of the year, like first 6 months, he reports in person, last 6 months, he can do it by mail. Is that something is that what you're asking for?
Well, I'm asking for 100%, but I do know that perhaps we can meet halfway, Your Honor.
Sure. Is that something that can be written into the judgment, Victoria, that we do the first 6 months in person, and if there's no issues, then you can go ahead and allow him the second 6 months by mail?
That's fine, Judge.
Okay.
We also just need to waive condition 7 if he's out of the county.
Waive condition number 7.
Thank you, Judge.
Again, a lot of this is all contingent, Mr. Garza, and I guess over the course of time, right, we all modify we course correct and we change our sales a little bit as judges, and we try to stay consistent with our policies and our procedures. And this is just my way of recognizing that we're all going through tough times, and the court does impose certain conditions in an effort to try to protect the community and to protect the individuals. And for those that have, held the banner and waved it proudly and have done what they're supposed to do, I want to help in whatever way I can. So waiver of fine and court costs.
Judge, and let me just say this for the record, so the record can, we can understand what happened in this case. Mr. Mendoza had a wife who died of cancer, and this is the situation that had occurred to him. Rather, that's why he got these DWIs, because of the emotional struggle that went along with it. And just so Your Honor can be satisfied that this is for a good reason in this particular case, Your Honor.
Yeah, no. Listen, my condolences, Mr. Mendoza, and raising a family as a single parent is never easy, no matter what circumstance occurs, whether it's a divorce, the passing of a parent. So again, I applaud you for dealing with everything that you're dealing with, and for all the obstacles that you're having to overcome. And the fact that you had no violations, this is just one small way that the court can assist in. I know that there were some additional expenses that came with your device. Obviously, the device is installed because of certain conditions that the court feels trigger that. But if at all possible, if I can help in some way to give some of that money back, or at least help alleviate some of that burden, I want to do what I can to those of you that really look out to better yourself. And for your sake of your children, it seems that you're doing that.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate it, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Anything else, Mr. Garza?
That's all we have, Your Honor.
We do need a phone number though from Mr. Mendoza.
You want my phone number?
Yes, sir.
956-688-7542.
Thank you. Our intake department will be calling you in about 5 business days.
Thank you, Judge. This is all we have before this honorable court. May we be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, just to clarify, is he going to remain on the interlock, or will it be mobile that's ordered?
That we could keep it at the mobile, the interlock. I'm sorry, I don't want to add any more additional costs in doing the switch over.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Garza. You're excused. Mr. Mendoza, same, likewise.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. Mr. Esquivel, what do you have?
Good afternoon, Judge. May I turn off the other device, please?
Which one is that? Oh,
I
yes.
got a device that's on. Let me turn it off. Judge.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm sorry. I thought you were logged on twice with me.
I have number.
What number? Oh.
Number 30 on your docket, Judge.
Number 30, Adrian Becerra Silva.
Yes, Judge. I filed a motion to substitute. I filed a motion to set bond. I show Mr. Aurelio Garza still on the docket. We'd ask the court to grant my motion to substitute.
I will allow that and I'll approve it, and we'll set notice to the clerk's office to make that change.
Judge, on another issue on the bond, the jail records indicate he's got a $20,000 bond. However, you issued a NISI back on 10/29/21. So we're asking the court to consider setting a bond, perhaps at $10,000, to make sure that the court's records and the jail records are in sync.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I issued a NISI on 10/29, and you're asking the court to set a bond in the amount of $10,000 cash or surety?
Yes, Judge, if the court would consider that.
So basically, I'm sorry, so you're just asking me to cut it in half?
Yes, Judge, if possible.
Okay, and recall the NISI, obviously.
Well, and Judge, we'd be opposed to the reduction because he has a very violent criminal history. And the arrest in the facts of this case, he allegedly violently punched the victim. There was allegedly blood dripping down her face. If the judge would grant any sort of reduction, we would, of course, ask for the defendant to stay away from the victim as part of any condition, but we would oppose any reduction.
Judge, if I may, the wife is the alleged victim. She came in to hire me to reduce the bond to represent him on the bond and to bond him out. She does not want to prosecute. So maybe we can have no harmful contact as a condition, Judge.
So as an officer of the court, you'll represent to me that the family and especially the victim in this case came to retain you to seek a bond reduction.
Yes, and to represent him, Judge. I also represent him on a motion to revoke that's pending. He has a bond on that one. He is on probation.
Out of this court or another court?
Out of the 92nd, Judge.
Okay. And how did Singletary handle that case?
Judge, we don't have a setting coming up for next. Judge Singletary let him out on AIP last year, and he's been on AIP. As of right now, he doesn't have a setting until, I don't have the exact date, but it's set for sometime, I believe it's in March. I can check real quick.
No, that's okay. The court will go ahead and based on your representation, I'll follow or I will grant a $10,000 cash or surety bond with no harmful contact with the victim.
Thank you, Judge, for your consideration.
Now, this does require a reset date. Don't want to go too far. And I'm going to go ahead and ask that Mr. Silva, since you have contact with his family, it'll be easy for you to make contact with him and make sure that he logs on March the 8th, 2022 at 9:30. Okay, March 8th, 9:30.
Thank you, Judge. And Mr. Silva, once the paperwork is submitted, then I can take my steps to bond you out.
Okay.
Judge, that's all I have. May I be excused?
You're excused. Thank you. All right, Sheriff, what additional cases do you have?
Yes, we have 4 more individuals. Jesus Lozano.
Give me 1 second, let me get to him. Jesus Lozano is reset for March the 10th at 2 o'clock.
I have Avelino Martinez.
March 22nd at 2 o'clock.
I have Mr. Cruz Solis.
We don't have a reset date for him. 3/29.
And last, I have Mr. Jesus Vela.
3/10, March the 10th at 2.
Thank you, Your Honor. May be dismissed.
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that takes care of our docket for this afternoon, along with docket call for